Imagine a world where every Avenger is dead, and the only one left is the man who killed his own friends. This is the story of Old Man Logan. 50 years ago, there was a day that ended an entire era. The Avengers fell. The Fantastic Four were annihilated. The X-Men died in the heart of their own home. Everything collapsed in a single night, because the villains did something no one ever expected. For the first time, they all united. A storm of enemies descended upon the world, and when the smoke cleared, nothing remained. Only ruins, and victors who carved up America like a prize of war. In the West, the Hulks ruled, monstrous offspring of Banner. In the center, Red Skull reigned, dressed in Captain America's costume, a blasphemous parody of hope. In the East, Doom declared himself a god, and the rest of the country became the Wastelands, a dead desert where hope had long since burned out. In this world lived a man once called Wolverine. Now there was only Logan, old, broken. He lived on a farm with his wife and children. For 50 years, he had not unsheathed his claws, because the last time he did, he slaughtered his own family, the X-Men. But silence never lasts. The roar of engines tore the air. On the horizon appeared the Hulk gang, green beasts, twisted offspring of Banner. They had his strength, but none of his humanity. Their eyes burned with lust and cruelty. They descended on Logan's farm like predators. They demanded tribute, rent, a tax every soul had to pay to live one more day on their land. Logan had nothing. He begged for time. The answer was laughter and fists. Beaten into the dirt, drenched in blood, he watched his children cry and his wife plead for mercy. But Logan did not fight. He did not unsheathe his claws. He took the pain in silence. As they left, the Hulks cast their verdict. He had 1 month. If he didn't pay, they would take everything. But the worst was yet to come. Days later, another engine broke the silence. Onto the farm rolled the Spider-Mobile. Behind the wheel was an old ally, Hawkeye, blind but still a warrior. He carried a proposal, a delivery across the wastelands, a route crawling with tyrants and bandits. The payment, a fortune, enough to buy Logan's family's safety from the Hulk gang. Logan hesitated, but when he looked at his children, he knew he had no choice. He accepted. And so, 2 old warriors set out across a dead America. The Spider-Mobile roared across the wastes. On crumbling walls, faded Avengers' insignias clung to the stone. Statues of heroes lay shattered in the sand. The world had forgotten hope, and Logan remembered that night. The day the age of heroes ended. The Avengers had fallen, the Fantastic Four destroyed, and the Xavier Institute stood as the final bastion. Logan saw the halls flooded with enemies. Sabretooth, Bullseye, Omega Red, every nightmare all at once. He fought like a beast, claws flashing, blood pouring. He fought for hours until silence claimed the Institute. And then the illusion shattered. They were not enemies. They were the X-Men, Cyclops, Jean, Jubilee, Beast, his family. The mastermind was not Magneto, nor Doom, nor Red Skull. It was Mysterio. One illusion, one trick, and Wolverine became the butcher of his own team. The scream that tore from his throat shook the walls of the Institute. And when it ended, Wolverine died with them. Only Logan remained, and a vow: the claws would never come out again. The Spider-Mobile pressed on. Inside, it lay a crate. Cargo Clint guarded like treasure. Logan didn't ask. He didn't want to know. Only the reward mattered. The money to save his family. At last they reached the site of the exchange, but there were no allies waiting. Instead, soldiers of Red Skull emerged from the shadows. It was a trap. The truth spilled open. The crate held no gold, no weapons. Inside were vials. The raw formula of the super soldier serum. The power that once created Captain America. And now Red Skull's final prize. Logan and Clint were overrun. A blow to the head dragged Logan into darkness. He awoke in hell. A vast hall, cold as a tomb. The walls hung with trophies of fallen heroes. Iron Man's armor, cracked and lifeless. And at the center, Captain America's shield, displayed like blasphemy. On the throne sat the ruler of the Wastes, Red Skull, old yet still triumphant, wearing Roger's uniform like a mockery of hope. For half a century, Logan had refused to fight, but the sight of desecrated symbols, the shield in the tyrant's hand, broke the dam. He roared, charging into battle. Red Skull met him head-on. The fight was savage and short. Steel tore steel. Blood stained the floor. In the chaos, Logan's hand found Captain America's shield, and with one strike, he ended it. The shield cut through Red Skull's neck. The tyrant's head fell among the very trophies he had stolen. Logan stood among the ruins of the throne room. His breath was thunder. The vow was broken. But victory was hollow. The Hulk gang still awaited their tribute, and his family still lived under their shadow. The world would not let him remain a man. The world demanded the beast once more. But his war was not over. The Hulk gang still waited. From Red Skull's palace, Logan carried more than victory. He took the money and, clad in Iron Man's battered armor, rose above the wastelands of America. Below him stretched a country torn apart, cities in ruins, highways leading nowhere, statues of heroes buried in sand. The flight did not last. The reactor sputtered, died, and the suit crashed into dust. Logan walked the rest of the way home, step by step. From afar, he saw the roof of his farmhouse. But the silence was wrong. Too deep, too final. The door hung broken, blood marked the floor, and inside, bodies, his wife, his children, slaughtered by the Hulk gang who had not waited for payment. Logan did not scream. He did not cry. He stood in silence. But in that silence, fury was born. The claws he had kept hidden for 50 years now gleamed once more, and they would never rest again. That night, the Hulk gang learned the truth. Logan stormed their den like a shadow. Their laughter ended with the first cut. Then came the slaughter. No mercy, no escape. Green blood on the floors, screams in the dark. By dawn, the gang was gone, and Wolverine had returned for good. But one still lived. Bruce Banner, no longer a hero, no longer a scientist, now a tyrant, bloated on his own corruption, king among his mutant brood. His body was old, frail, wrinkled, but his anger never aged. He still carried the Hulk inside, and he demanded domination. Their clash was inevitable. Banner transformed, grotesque, larger than ever. Muscles tore. Skin pulsed green. Every step shook the earth. Logan leapt. Their clash tore the farmhouse apart. The fight was brutal. Less a battle, more natural disaster unleashed. Banner broke his bones, hurled him like a rag doll, and with a laugh, swallowed him whole. Silence. The tyrant triumphed, but inside the beast awoke. Claws ripped outward, flesh split. In a spray of blood, Logan tore his way free. Banner collapsed. The Avenger turned tyrant, devoured by the man he once called brother. When the dust settled, Banner's empire was no more. The Hulk gang lay dead. Banner's body was broken. Among the ruins, one child remained, a son of Banner, innocent. Logan lifted the boy in his arms, not as a trophy, not as a prisoner, but as a chance. In a world where heroes had died, something new could be born, and so Logan walked into the horizon. Not a farmer, not a broken man, but Wolverine, the beast reborn. This was the story of Old Man Logan, and if you want more alternate Marvel what-ifs, subscribe so you don't miss the next.